Judge Amy Coney Barrett is the president's nominee for the Supreme Court. The Senate Judiciary Committee says it will begin confirmation hearings on October the 12th, with the vote expected days before the November election. Now, over the weekend, Barrett, a mother of 7, spoke from the White House and paid tribute to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who she would replace. She also says she is aware of the fight ahead.
I have no illusions that the road ahead of me will be easy, either for the short term or the long haul.
And joining us now to talk more about this is former State Senate President Mike Haridopolos. Mike, good morning. Hope you had a good weekend.
We did. Thank you, Ryan.
So Barrett was clearly the front runner going through. She cruised through with bipartisan support in 2017, but this is the Supreme Court now. What do you expect from these confirmation hearings, or can anyone predict that right now?
Well, in the year 2020, no one can predict anything is right, Ryan. But that said, you said that chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, that being Senator Graham from South Carolina, has called the hearings for the 12th of October. We'll probably have a couple days of introduction, so to speak, and some basic questions taking place. And we anticipate within about 2 weeks, there will be a vote on the Senate floor, probably the last week of October. I think the 26th would be the most likely date that that vote might start. But the Democrats have a lot of procedural ways in which they can delay this vote, and they're trying their best to do that.
Mike, and they don't have the numbers maybe to stop it, but they can delay it. We saw things get very personal with Judge Kavanaugh. This is a mother of 7. Can they keep this? They're going to oppose it strongly, but how gently do both sides need to approach this with an election coming up in November?
Well, the gently is an understatement in this case. Clearly, when you saw the interview and, of course, the introduction of Judge Barrett last week at the White House, what a unique family, what a great family. Some people say that this is like taking on Mother Teresa. I mean, what a tremendous background she has. She showed a lot of poise and character, of course, in her public debut on the national stage. But look, as we've all seen in hearings in the past, Republicans and Democrats can get heated. The questions can get very intense. But I think this is not going to be like the Kavanaugh hearings. People recognize the sensitivity in the issue, not just the fact that she is a woman and a very accomplished person in general, but also the fact that she is the Catholic faith, and that is an important situation as well. So there's going to be a lot of back and forth, a lot of procedural maneuverings, but at this point it looks like it's very favorable. She will be not only given a hearing, but most likely be confirmed before Election Day.
Yeah, that seems to be the talk in Washington, Mike, and you can't underplay the way this might shift the court. I mean, you're replacing a liberal Judge Ruth Bader Ginsburg with what would be a conservative, would make it 6-3. People talk about Roe v. Wade possibly being overturned. When you hear all that, how do you see this playing out?
Well, what I see playing out is that it's clearly this, the nominee, Judge Barrett, is a very accomplished, well-versed. She's already gone through the Senate confirmation process, as you mentioned earlier. And so she's a known character and a very well-known character and person of faith. And so I think you're going to see issues will come up on whether it be Roe versus Wade, whether it be Obamacare, of course, the overall general role in government. The Democrats are going to say, look, if you put this person on the court, you might see the end of Obamacare. Whereas the Republicans are going to say, if you want to make sure that judges do not legislate from the bench, put someone like Judge Barrett on there who will just call balls and strikes at the laws that have already been passed. So it's a partisan fight, of course, but unlike a week ago, there's less confusion. It looks like the Republicans are in a very good position, especially with Mitt Romney siding with the president.
Yeah, and what's interesting, Mike, is people try and predict judges, but look at Judge John Roberts. I mean, there have been a lot through the years that people try and predict how they'll rule, and you really can't do that. And I guess at the end of the day, you shouldn't do that because they're judging it based on the merits of the law.
Exactly. Judge Breyer, who was appointed by the first Bush president, it turned out to be a very liberal justice. So you never know. This is why these hearings are important. We want to hear directly from the person who would serve, in some cases, 30, 40 years. You never know. It's going to be a heck of a week once again in politics.
Yep, and it starts here in just a couple weeks. Mike, great insight. We'll talk to you later in the 9 o'clock hour.
Thank you, Ryan. Have a great day.
You as well. Well, tomorrow, President Donald Trump, of course, and Democrat vice presidential nominee, former Vice President Joe Biden, is going to face off in the first presidential debate. So much hype around this. The debate's going to be moderated by Fox News anchor Chris Wallace. He's expected to ask the candidates about their records. The Supreme Court will certainly be an issue, and the pandemic. The candidates will debate in Cleveland. This is 90 minutes straight, no commercials. You can watch the first debate tomorrow night right here on Fox 35 starting at 9 o'clock. And, of course, that means a late night for us.
Oh, yes.
If
we look a little
morning.
right, we'll be a little bleary-eyed. We'll make sure we double caffeinate on Wednesday, too.
All right, well, you don't